All right, everybody, what is going on? Good afternoon. We've got some more linebackers to get into here today, and now we are on to second round targets. So this is probably a little bit more compelling if you're a Seahawks fan because these are guys that are more realistically going to be there when the Seahawks pick, whether it's they quote unquote reach a little bit at the back of the first, or if they trade back into like the middle second or even early middle second. These are guys the Seahawks could consider taking, and there are some interesting names here, so let's get into it. This video is sponsored by Prize Picks. More on them later. Jacob Rodriguez is our first guy here. This guy's star is on the rise, and after the season he just had, it's not hard to see why. Texas Tech Red Raider, 23 years old. The key with him is that he's not as small as people thought. One of the things that people worried about when they were evaluating Jacob Rodriguez is they felt like he was small. He's not as small as people thought. He's almost 6'1.5", which is fine. And 231 is small historically, but it's not small by modern linebacker standards, really. So Jacob Rodriguez, maybe he's a little bit smaller than you would like, but it's not nearly as big a deal as people thought. He does have short arms and he does have small hands, but the problem was a little bit overstated. He tested pretty well overall, not perfect, but he was a good tester, good 40, good jumps, big boards, mostly like second round, a little bit of third. Aggregate puts him in the middle of the second right now. He has piled up insane statistics over the last 2 years. We're talking about 255 tackles, 21 and a half tackles for loss, makes all kinds of plays, lots of plays in the backfield, lots of stuff happening in terms of taking the ball away. He is the number one playmaking linebacker in this draft, I think. PFF grade off the scales. He is an absolute monster when it comes to making monster plays. So, yeah, he is a playmaking machine here. He forces fumbles, he gets interceptions. He's the guy you want if you want the big splash. He was deployed in many different roles at Texas Tech, Mike, Will, even a little bit of like nickel overhang type stuff. He reads and reacts fast. He picks up on nuance of what the offense is doing and reacts to it fast. He's got elite coverage abilities. He is going to be real, at the very least, a great playmaker in coverage. Plays like a safety sometimes. He's always moving, always working his way towards the ball. And yeah, the combine stuff, it's good enough. This is not a small player the way some people were afraid of when they watched him play. Now, the short arms are going to make it so he misses more tackles, and he wasn't the greatest tackler in the world in college. So it is a real concern. He doesn't wrap up as well as you might like. He gets stuck on blockers. He's not a very good block shedder, so he is somebody that will get erased from the play by blockers. He will occasionally fall for eye candy and trickery and misdirection. And sometimes he gives up big stuff in coverage. Like he goes for the big play, which is great. He makes a lot of big plays. He had 4 picks last year, but sometimes he goes for the big play and gives up a big play of his own. So he's a lot of fun. There are some limitations here, but the playmaking ability just stands out. He finds a way to get the ball. So I can't resist. I don't know if he's exactly what the Seahawks want because he's a little bit on the more not really taking on blocker side of things, but I think he's an early second round pick for a team that likes to keep their linebackers clean all the time. Do you like sports? If you do, then the best way to make them even better and more exciting is using Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. Prize Picks makes daily fantasy simple. Just pick more or less on your favorite players' projections and build lineups with a few taps. Whatever sport you're into, Prize Picks gives you a fun way to stay locked in while you're watching. I've had a great time using Prize Picks so far. It makes this daily fantasy thing so easy and fun, and it even makes watching the games way more exciting. And with the cool social feeds feature, you can share lineups with your friends and even follow partners to tail or fade their picks. Obviously, we're in the NFL offseason right now, but we've got basketball, baseball, hockey, all kinds of other stuff, so don't be afraid to test things out in whatever sport clicks with you. You can even pick multiple sports in the same lineup and sweat everything at once. And don't forget about team picks, where you can pick winners, spreads, and totals on any major game. So, download Prize Picks, America's #1 sports app. And don't forget, code HMA, that is HMA, gives you $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. And remember, always gamble responsibly. Okay, next up we have Anthony Hill Jr., and I think this is a name to pay attention to. This guy's slipping a little bit on the boards, but this might be what the doctor ordered if McDonald wants a linebacker a little ahead of time here. Texas, 21 years old, so very young, has a chance to get better. Good sized, almost 240 pounds, 6'2". Arm length is pretty decent, over 32 and a quarter. Hands are decently sized as well. He tested quite well. He's fast, he's quick, he's got good explosiveness in his hips. Big boards mostly put him in the second, little bit of third. The aggregate puts him in the middle second. The problem with Hill is he didn't have a great year in 2025. His numbers were way down for a myriad of understandable reasons. But nevertheless, not even 70 tackles, tackles for loss more than cut in half the sacks. So we didn't get the big breakout. And that's kind of what's holding Hill back. Otherwise, I think Hill would be a first-round pick, at least with C.J. Allen, if not ahead of C.J. Allen. So the thing with Hill, great blitzer. You put him on the inside, you put him on the outside, wherever you want to put him, he's going to get to the quarterback really well. He chases plays enthusiastically, covers a lot of ground. He's willing to go from sideline to sideline to make plays. Great athlete overall. He blows through blockers with violence. He will take on contact and get right through it. He's an accurate reader of plays. He makes accurate reads of the play as it's developing and goes to where he needs to go. His movement skills are also smooth enough for him to be able to do things like cover in man or break down to tackle at the last moment. So lots to love with Anthony Hill. And I think that people are getting a little bit carried away with how somewhat disappointing his 2025 was. I don't think that changes the fundamental identity of Hill as a player. Now, it is worth noting that he did not have a great 2025. He didn't break out. Sometimes his aggression does work against him. I think he misses some of his zone coverage landmarks a little bit, doesn't always get to the right spot. He does miss tackles more than you would like, although I think that's fixable. He's young and he's got long arms. And he doesn't have the hip smoothness to quickly flip around. So there is going to be some stuff that's a little lost to him, but some of this stuff is fixable too. So I think this is a great prospect. I think he's going to be really good in a lot of areas. I think that he has a high floor. I think he has a high ceiling. I think that Anthony Hill Jr. is really exciting. And I actually ended up thinking he edges into the first. I would put him in my first round. And if we get him at 32, I'm excited for that. And I think we all should be. This is a good player that just did not have the greatest 2025 for a myriad of reasons. So yeah, Anthony Hill, give me first round grade, I think. We'll see what happens when I put together my big board. Final guy for this video is going to be Jake Golday of Cincinnati, the Bearcats, 23. Very tall for an off-ball linebacker, good size as well. Kind of getting back to what linebackers used to be in the older days. Remember, linebackers used to be 240, 245. Nowadays, they're shifting more to like even 225. Arms are okay, almost 32 inches. Hands are all right too. Tested kind of mixed, but more good than bad. The vert in particular stood out, but the testing was just okay. Big boards, mostly second round, little bit of third. Aggregate puts him in the middle second. And I mean, the 2025 numbers are quite strong. Like a good improvement over the previous year. PFF grade went up a little bit, but solid player, has been for a little while. And Golday's another player that Cincinnati was able to use all over the place. They lined him up inside, outside, Mike, will, nickel, overhang stuff. So he's going to bring a lot of things to the table. Even if he can't do all of it at the NFL level, he'll be able to do some of it. He moves explosively and powerfully to close distance. So he is somebody that will really fly around and be physical and violent. He's a good tackler. He hits with a lot of force. It's really hard to get yak on him because he lays the wood. He's willing to play through contact. He's willing to work through traffic to get to the ball carrier. And he's also a capable zone cover player. So plenty to like. He's always given effort. No one doubts his drive and desire to be a great player. Now, There are some limitations when it comes to the nuances. He's not a very fluid mover. He's decently fast in a straight line, but he's not super fluid. Change of direction, eh. So man coverage, I wouldn't expect him to be able to cover in man. Running backs in man-on-man coverage will eat him up. He's not yet fully developed cerebrally. He needs to learn how to read offenses a little bit better. And while he does get to the quarterback a little bit, it's mostly just as like a bull rusher. He doesn't win with skill or bend or anything like that. He just kind of wins by bowling over the blocker. And in the NFL, that's going to work a lot less. So he is appealing. I do think the athletic limitations are there. Like to me, this guy's on the basic same level as Anthony Hill. To me, Anthony Hill is much more interesting than Golday. But Golday's still good. I think he will be good, but I don't know if I think he'll be elite at the NFL level. So late second, maybe I could be talked into middle. I don't know. Like, I'm putting him right next to Anthony Hill because I just talked about Anthony Hill. Hill seems so much better to me in pretty much every way imaginable. So it's hard for me to not look at that and go, I think Golday is fine, but man, that feels like a step down. All right, so that's going to do it for this video, and unless something happens tonight, that's going to do it for the videos today. I will see you guys tomorrow, Tuesday. So we are getting closer and closer, but we still got time to finish this up, so we will continue our look at the linebackers. See you guys soon. Go Hawks. Everybody have a good rest of your day. Let me know what you think of this crew, and let me know if you want any of them.